What's up, guys? Welcome to Shop Talk. Today, I want to talk about something that's a little harder to talk about for the average entrepreneur. We're going to get a little deeper today, something we really haven't done on this video series yet. And I want to talk about specifically for business owners or entrepreneurs dealing with some sort of anxiety, or I hate to say the word because I'm absolutely not qualified to speak on it, but depression. And the truth is that when a business owner, when an entrepreneur steps out the door in the morning, he or she gets bombarded every day. It's like you step out into a battle. I joke with my wife all the time that I'm going into battle today, and she laughs it off, but it's true. You like literally step out the door and it's time to jump into the ring and fight the day's demons, because it just things constantly get thrown at you and you're putting out fires. And entrepreneurs especially become very good at hiding their feelings or not dealing with their feelings because they feel like they have to. And so today I'd like to talk about how I dealt with those things. I'll give you a few points and pointers on how I was able to check my emotions and deal with my anxiety and a little bit of depression. As most of you know, last year I sold businesses that I had built for 20 years. And that was difficult for me. And I did fall into a little bit of depression there. And so I'm speaking from truth here, from actual feelings, and I'll tell you how I dealt with some of that. So one of the things that I want to talk about today, or the main thing, or the first thing I'd like to talk about, is how I dealt with some of those across my career. And the first thing I always did, or that was really important to me, is the battle buddy system. And I learned that in the military, but a battle buddy is that one person or that group of people that you can always go to and be real with and talk to. I was lucky. I kind of grew up in the franchise system, and I had so much help along the way with guys who had been there before that I could go to and say, hey, I'm having this problem, or I'm feeling this way. And they were able to help me with that. And so the best piece of advice I can give you, and you can stop the video here, is that if you've got that core group of people that you can go to and deal with, is really, really important. And some people want to use their spouse. And for me, it was never my wife, and it has nothing to do with her. She is amazing. She wanted to be that person for me, but I really didn't want her to have to be that person. I wanted to be her hero. And it's tough to tell your wife or your spouse what you're really dealing with that day, and then expect them to really want to come to you and lean on you for the things that they need. And so I was really lucky. I have an excellent group of friends, and I kept elevating that group too. That's really important, is making sure you keep putting yourself in a new room where those people are dealing with the same things that you're dealing with. The second thing that I learned across my career is to forget fast. Too many entrepreneurs want to dwell on what happened, and unfortunately, what happened really doesn't matter. All that matters is what's the solution to the problem. So you will never find me spend any time whatsoever on what happened. I want to focus 100% of my time and energy on how can I fix the problem and how can I make sure that problem never happens again. So the concept of forgetting fast is super important. The third thing I want to explain to you today, or tell you what worked for me, was taking the emotion out of decision making. So one of the things that I really wanted to make sure I wasn't doing, because your emotional seesaw, especially salespeople, like sometimes you're on cloud nine and sometimes you're in the ditch. And so I wanted to make sure I wasn't making decisions for my business with those feelings in mind. And so I really tried to take all of the emotion out of every decision. And if I had to make a major decision for the company, I wanted it to be based on data. And then I could always go home and feel good about my decisions because I made it based on the actual data, not my feelings for that specific day. And so I probably could shoot an entire video on data-driven decisions, and maybe we'll get that one out there soon. But that was one of the things that was really important to me. And then one of the last things I'll leave with you today is I really always tried to turn a loss into a win. Like when you fail within your business, and you're gonna do it every day, but when you take that failure and you obsess on that failure to try to figure out how you can turn it into a win, you'll start stacking wins instead of stacking losses. And the losses won't matter as much because you just know that you're gonna find a way to turn that loss into a win. It's almost like a game. And like one example of that is, let's say you went to a project today and you didn't win the bid. And you didn't win the bid for one reason or another, whatever it is. But instead of letting that loss like completely mess you up, trying to get back with that client and find out why you didn't win the project. And then spend all your time trying to figure out how you can fix that reason the client told you no. Maybe it's your price, maybe it was, your pitch, maybe the guy had a better design than you. But if long as you know that, you can take that loss and turn it into win. You can be a better designer. You can pitch better. And all of those things really matter. And the last thing I really want to leave you with today is something a friend taught me, and I thought it was very profound. One of the problems that I had, especially early on, was wearing like the day's dread when you walk through the door at home. And most of you have families, and you really have to try to like knock that dust off at the door and step into a new beginning. And when I said that to a friend of mine, what I was dealing with, what he came back with me was something that I actually live by now. And it's, you got to live where your feet are. And so when you're at work, you're at work, and you're really dealing with the things of work and the battle that it is every single day. But when you're at home, when you step through that door at home, you've got to live at home. And I really struggle with that because I'm that kind of guy that wears everything on my sleeve. But I'm really working towards trying to be that person. When I'm at home, I shed the day's dread and I just get to trying to live at home. And so that was really important to me. I think, so many entrepreneurs are dealing with this alone. So definitely find yourself a battle buddy. And if there's anything that me or my team could help out with, obviously we'd love to do that, be part of your circle. But that's all I have for you today. If you're dealing with any of this stuff, definitely find somebody to talk to, and forget fast. That's it for today.